All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Sut from PricesKing.com. We're going to be talking about Coinbase. We're going to do some technical analysis on Coin, see what's going on, see where it's going to be in the next few days, into the next few weeks, perhaps, and see where it's been. As you can see, this is the daily chart we're looking at, and there's a couple of stuff on there I'd like to talk about. And then let's take it into a little bit deep into it and see where things are headed for Coinbase. Outside of fundamentals, we're going to be strictly talking about technicals and where the chart is looking towards going. Most of this is all going to be on the charts. Okay, we're not going to be talking about what's happening with the SEC. We're not going to be talking about, how things are progressing in terms of funds moving out, regulations and whatnot, because that could change dramatically with any stocks related to cryptocurrency, right? Especially Coinbase, because it's one of the biggest ones out there. So with that said, let's get right into it. As you can see, this is the yearly daily chart. We've had some highs, and then there was a low 31 back over here, and so I had the fibs on this already for looking for a downward, and it did kind of hit our numbers right here. So now where do we go? So let's actually zoom in. Let me remove this and kind of talk about what's happening, right? As you can see, let me change all this, zoom in, and I have the Bollinger Bands on, as well as the RAM indicator, along with the lower studies over here, the MACD, that's a customized MACD, as well as a customized volume. Now, as you can see, I've always talked about it, and you've always, hear me talk about, okay, if it crosses above the RAM indicator, then it's going up. If it crosses below, it's going to go down. And there was a period where it was just stagnant. It wasn't going anywhere. It was very compressed. Even the Bollinger Bands were very compressed. And it started to expand right around here as it crossed over, continued to ride itself up. And it did that for some time. And as you can see, now we are at a point where, okay, what do you predict? What's going to happen here? Where are things going to go? And so in the short term, what's happening, right? We have the RAM indicator here. It's trying to cross over the RAM. It's trying to cross over the mid-band on the Bollinger, and we got the MACD kind of trying to point itself upwards. So there's some room for it to go towards the upper Bollinger Band, and that is hovering around 230, 240. Okay, so that's the number that we see that it's going to go towards if it continues its way up above the RAM indicator. This is certainly going to be a good sign as it goes towards the zero line. If it crosses the zero line, then we've got that confirmation. But one of the things that I want to point out to everyone is that look at the volume. Generally what I look at is when I see volume go above the previous bar, and look at that previous 3 bars, in this case actually 4 or 5, more than 4 or 5 bars, right? That just kind of shows me that there's some buying power that's out there, that people are looking to actually capitalize on what's happening. And you see the stock price going $16 up, right? A lot of, we're in that cycle of earnings season right now, and because we're in that earnings season, you're going to have some sort of volatility on the upside as well as downside, depending on what happens, right? So, generally you don't want to just kind of rely specifically on technicals, but I want you to also, kind of point out what's happening within the company itself, right? Because they're talking about Bitcoin topping 66. You see all of this news headlines. You want to kind of generally get an idea of like, why is it pumping up? And then you can make that decision based on your technicals, right? Now, one of the things I want to point out is we've had higher lows and then higher lows, but then there's some lows over here, but that may be just consolidation. And so what we do is we go back and take a look where we can actually look for support and resistance areas. Okay, and in this case, I'll start off with the major ones. You got the support over here, you got the resistance over here. Oops, sorry. You get resistance over here, and then those are the major ones. Then you got some over here. Now, if you take it back a little bit further, you want to know, okay, in this area last time it was somewhere around here, right? So you have some room over here to grow. And so what I would go ahead and do is I would go ahead and take the rectangle and kind of look for an area where you think might consolidate. Right, so if you look at this area, this is where your support resistance is going to be the most impactful in the next few days. Right, if this area holds up, and it most likely will, because you have support here, you got this whole area that's a support from the previous highs, and what it's going to do is it's going to try to break this, and it has broken up, and it's trying really hard to get that broken. And so what Coinbase is going to do from a technical perspective, it's going to try to ride up, right? Yeah, and so the next few days, keep an eye on this area. Okay, it's going to try. It might not do it exactly on the day that I'm telling you. It's not going to be like, okay, you know what, it's right here and you got it. It may take a few days. It may hover around here, and our RAM indicator will follow suit. As long as you don't see it being rejected completely, then you're going to see an upside. All right. So keep that in mind. This is very, pretty self-explanatory if you know how to read charts. There's other things that you can look at. As I mentioned in my other videos, you may want to look at pivot points, see where, pivot points are important as well. They kind of give you an idea of where support resistance are. And as you can see, from this area, we had a lot of consolidation, right? It was just kind of not going anywhere, hovering around this area. And then all of a sudden, we just had this boom. And what happened? Obviously, I think everybody knows Bitcoin kind of just, when it goes up, even Coinbase goes up because their activities are based on the transaction volumes and whatnot, right? And so when this big spike happened, right, there was profit taking. There's going to be some profit taking, of course, and you notice, Bitcoin has gone down in the last few days. Yeah, it wasn't as high as it was a few weeks ago, and so because of that, people start kind of sitting on the sidelines, not doing as many transactions, and so it does make an impact to Coinbase. But what's going to happen is that volatility is going to come back. The number of transactions, the volume is going to come back, and you'll see this spike up. Okay, and so that's what's going to happen. Let me see if I can add a fib to see if we can. Let's see retracements. Let's do. All right. So if we add this, we're looking at 61. Oh, look at that. 61.8 is hovering right around where I actually put my bubble. Okay. So it lines up really nicely in this area. See the 240 area? So keep that in mind. That's where it's going to try to hover. Right now it's at 219. So you're looking at $20 to the upside. So please keep that in mind. Let me know if you have any questions. I want to kind of just bring up, let's see, I know the market is kind of wrapped up, but let's see if I can show you the Bookmap on what's going on with Bookmap. Okay, so I don't have a lot of data uploaded for Coinbase, but as you can see, A lot of, well, the market's closed right now, but you have a lot of area right here where to support. A lot of orders. You got 1,000, 1,000, and then you got 1,800, 1,000 over here on the upside. Let's see if I scroll up. 240. Yeah, you see this 240 number that I was talking about? Right here is where it's going to target. Okay, so you get 240, 235, 230. A lot of orders. 235 and 240. So yeah, so roughly that bubble area is what I'm talking about. But that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions. PriceIsKing.com. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. It helps with my YouTube channel and the algorithms. Please hit that like and subscribe. Let me know if you want me to do a specific stock. Thank you so much.